Hi guys, I am starving. I need some lunch in my belly. And I've been trying to be healthy lately. As you know, I've been losing weight, and if you don't know, I'll link a video. But I'm cutting up some apple, and I'll tell you what I got. We're going to make some top of the stove granola. Quick and easy, you don't need the oven, it doesn't take forever. I'm chopping up some apple here. I want you to get out your favorite fruits and nuts and things that you like to put in your oatmeal. I've got pecans, almonds, and cashews, and I've got a cup full. I've got 1/3 cup of unsweetened coconut flakes, 1/2 cup of ground flaxseed, and I'll link this stuff for you. And then I have 1/2 cup of dried cranberries and raisins, and then a very heaping 1/2 cup of chopped up dates. I use the jewel dates. And then 3 cups of oats. And then get some kind of oil. I like to use the coconut oil. And that coconut oil is a good one. It's cold pressed. It's not processed. And it smells so good. It smells like the beach. It's good for your body. It's one of the healthier fats you can put in your body. And if you get a little on you, just rub it into your skin. It's good to put on you too. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our oats, our nuts, and our coconut over to the stove. You're going to want to grab some kind of oil too. I use, like I said, I use this organic virgin coconut oil. So come with me to the stove. So you're going to want to turn the stove. I know, isn't this ridiculous? See this microwave? What are you doing, Ray?
Microwave.
If you can see him, he's like, action cameraman. Anyway, see this thing? I can't even see my controls. It's a less tall woman's world, I'm going to say, politically correctly. And it's not fair. I feel discriminated against. I cannot see my knobs. So you'll see, I know how to take this out, and it's going. I can't take it anymore. It's going. I would like to see my entire stove. Now that I'm done ranting, this is my precision. Ready? Take some oil. I have this up pretty high. I had it up high. I'm turning it down to medium right now. And just coat the bottom of your pan with it. Then you pour in your oats. And that was 3 cups of oats. This is 1/3 cup of coconut. You don't have to put it in if you don't like it. Don't do it to yourself. If you like it, put in more. And I have a full cup of nuts in here, cashews and almonds and pecans. I put them on top of the oats because if they sit straight up against the heat, sometimes they burn and that doesn't taste good. But you definitely want them to toast because that does taste good. So you give it a minute or two until you start to smell it a little. So we let it sit for a minute. Then you give it a light stir. I like to let that sit. And this is when I like to add things like, you know, if you want to put anything in it, I like to put in a little clove, some cinnamon. Ray likes nutmeg, so we put nutmeg in there. You have to be really careful when you measure, see? There's some nutmeg. Cloves, be careful. I always just dump it into my hand. I won't even spray or sprinkle it in. When you do about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cloves. Unless you like cloves, and then just pack it in there. Knock your socks off. And some cinnamon. This is not the good kind of cinnamon. I've been educated thusly, but I gotta use this up first. You can smell it now. It's starting to heat up. Your house is gonna smell like Christmas. Right. So I stir all the spices in and let it get all toasty and warm. And I like to add vanilla in too, but at the end we'll add a teaspoon of vanilla. You don't have to.
Or 2.
The goal here is to get this toasty and not burn it. So you want to get it warmed up and toast it a little. Get the flavors going, make it smell a little more nutty. Just be careful not to burn it. At this point you want to think about some sweetener if you want to sweeten it up a little bit. Normally I'd use honey, probably 1/4 cup of honey in here, and that melts down and it sticks to it and it makes it shiny and a little sticky and a little more like granola and not just toasted oats, but I don't have that today. So today I'm going to use some maple syrup. How much is according to taste. I'm going to give it a drizzle. If we want more later, you can always put it on later. I'd say I probably used close to 1/4 cup there. Oh, it smells so good. I'm starving. Did I mention I'm hungry? I'm a big girl losing weight. I'm always hungry. Always, always hungry. This takes a little bit to make, but if you make 3 cups at a time like I did, even if you're being debaucherous and you just really gorge yourself, you can eat this twice. 2 people can eat this twice. Maybe even 3 people could eat this twice. So we're a little toasty. I'm going to let that cook for about a minute. But if it gets to smelling a little burnt, you know, stir it. Don't let it sit for too long. It's up to you. Care about your food. Care about who you're feeding. Don't get lazy. Now I want to get those apples. I think it would probably work with any berries or any fruit. They're going to get kind of juicy and oozy in your... Well, no one wants an oozy in their oatmeal. But they're going to get juicy in your oatmeal, and your oatmeal will turn red. It will look like your fruit is bloody. Yes, your fruit will be dead. But your food will be good. But I suggest always put some fruit in there. I'm going to grab the apple that I cut. Oh, see this scraper? Oh, let me tell you about my scraper. I love this thing. This scraper is fantastic. This scraper is my friend. This is a Rachael Ray scraper. But you can get any scraper like this, and it will end up being your best friend in the kitchen. When you're chopping something, you know, a lot of times you use a knife blade, and that's only this thick. This is a nice way to carry things that you just chopped across the counter without dropping little pieces of onion on the floor. It's also great when you're working with dough. It's easy to scrape the dough up off the counter, and it's a nice way to cleanly cut loaves in order to make them into nice portion loaves. Pretty cool, right? That's one of my favorite things. So now I'm just once again stirring this around. You can hear the sizzle of the apples hitting the griddle. And I'm going to turn it down because it's smelling pretty toasty. And this probably could use a little more maple syrup. I think we're going to put a little more in. Honey works a little better if you want something more like traditional granola, you know, the sticky stuff. But I'm going to give it a little bit more. It's probably closer to 1/3 than 1/2 cup or 1/4 cup. But like I said, everything is mostly to taste, but the goal is to just get it all mixed up and tasting good and toasty for your tummy. Everybody likes a toasty tummy in the winter. That's looking good, and the apples are slowly starting to soften up. I'm going to turn it down really low. I'm going to get the other fruit and put it in here, and the flaxseed. So we will bring over our dates, our raisins, and dried cranberries, and our ground flaxseed. In goes the flaxseed. There goes our dates. Look at these guys. Oh, I need to eat one. Oh. Now, if you're a butter person, this would be fantastic with some butter. So we've got the dates and the apples and the nuts, and here go the raisins and the dried cranberries. This is a full meal, a complete meal. You get proteins and minerals and fiber, lots of carbs for energy. If you're watching your carbs, just throw some of this on top of some unflavored, unsweetened yogurt if you're a dairy eater. If not, just eat less. Here's my top of the stove oatmeal. I'm starting to make a mess.
It's all over the top of the stove. Look at that.
So I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to let it sit for 5 minutes just so it can all kind of bake in the pan. So I turn it off. I pull it off the heat. Then I put a lid on it. Let it sit for 5 and I'll see you in 5. Maybe at this time you can make yourself a cup of tea or something. So once it's sat for a little bit, you might want to add some salt. I add salt for the minerals and the taste to get the sweet salty thing. You could use Himalayan pink salt, or we have right now sea salt. And I probably used about 1/4 to 1/2 of a teaspoon. And then I add the vanilla. And I add about a full teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half. Stir it up one last time. Oh my gosh, do you smell that? Bet you wish you could. So we've got oats, coconut oil, nuts, apples, dried fruit, maple syrup. The other day, instead of the maple syrup, I used some of my mom's homemade jam. That was really good too. Something sweet and sticky that helps it stick together a little and makes it taste good. Let's get some of this into the bowls. And then I like to top mine with some almond milk. Do you want almond milk, babe?
Yes, please.
Let's go have some. Let's have some. You see that? Me? Oh yeah, Suzanne. My buddy Suzanne. What the Farm Girl. Make sure you go check her out. She told me she wants to see me eat. I eat plenty, as you can see, but... Mmm. Mm-hmm. The oats are toasty. You got the coconut, a little bit of the crunch of the apple. There's still a little crunch to it left. The dates are like caramel. The nuts are toasty. You want some, Dad?
Sure. My turn.
I know, it's granola. It takes a minute.
Doesn't suck.
Okay.
Chunk of apple there.
Doesn't suck. Now everybody's really going to want to make it.
It's a running joke. It's what I say when it's awesome.
I know. Thanks for helping me out. Here, guys. This bite's for you. As I'm concerned, if I can't put it in me, I normally don't put it on me anyway. That came out all wrong. I probably shouldn't put this. Dang it! Well, we'll do an outtake, and whoever stays to the end gets to be graced with that.